Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I am Channie, and today we're watching The Horror of VtuberEN by Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. I'm watching the whole series about ants that they have. I don't know if this will be coming first or in the middle, somewhere, but just know all the videos about the ants have been reacted to. I'm just not sure about what order I'm going to be posting them on. We've learned about the colony, we've learned about the soldier ants, and now we're going to be learning about the slaver ants.
Everything changed when the Slaver Nation attacked. What used to be a thriving
The Avatar
colony is now
theme.
a captured country. Slaves do the work, serving their new masters until they die, only to be replaced by new victims harvested in brutal raids. But let's go back to the beginning.
Ah, not the close-up. Dun 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 dun. Bum bum bum. Kurzgesagt.
The World War of the Ants is claiming millions of lives every day. But in the brutal world of ants,
I wonder if humans learned torture tactics from other animals, or did we just instinctively move on some of the torture tactics we have today? Because this part, I think everyone have seen that one video of not this animation, but a literal video of ants doing this to another ant. So I really wonder how much other animals influence us and how much we influence other animals. Who decided in the ant world that this is the method? Yep, each one of you take a limb and pull. Okay, all right. Interesting choice, but okay, whatever works for you.
But in the brutal world of ants, straight up war is not the only way. Around 50 ant species practice slavery, the most extreme division of labor. We don't know how this began, but some ant species perfected this cruel trade. Meet Polyergus, the most intense of the slaver ant tribes. There are different species, but generally they're 4 to 10 millimeters long, with brown to blackish bodies and sickle-shaped
Don't do close-ups, please.
Polyergus has special.
The only reason I've been able to survive these videos, despite my fear for bugs, is because one, they're animated and drawn in cute colors, but then they do these zoom-ins, and I'm my body reacts. I get chills. Please stop with the zoom-ins.
Specialized in slavery so much that they've lost their ability to care for themselves. They don't clean, build nests, care for their brood, or feed themselves.
They don't do anything?
They only exist for raiding. Slaves make up 80 to 90% of the ants in their colonies, so a few hundred Polyergus and a single queen control thousands of slave ants. We'll summarize and simplify what we know about Polyergus.
Not the ants that can fly.
Thousands of slave ants.
We're so back.
We'll summarize and
they can fly, bro. Oh my god.
Into one grand story.
Please.
You can find more information in our sources.
We're humanizing ants a bit for the story's sake. Don't forget, ants are ants and not people. Thank you for the disclaimer, Kurzgesagt. I appreciate it.
So now, let's witness the cruel banality of nature. The raid.
The raid.
It all begins on a mild summer morning on a sunny field. Witness this colony of over 10,000 formica ants, genetically cousins of Polyergus, who build a thriving nest under.
Okay, so Polyergus have genetical cousins, and those are the formica. Okay, blue is formica, red is Polyergus. Okay, I just need to literally lock in because I get lost in these stories. I lose track.
Underground. They are a widespread genus. Some species are good fighters, some great builders, and some cattle farmers. Often welcomed by humans because they hunt vermin that hurt forests. Nobody noticed the lone Polyergus scout that briefly showed up this morning before she bolted away again. The attack begins in the early afternoon. The scout returned from her mission to find the formica nests. She dances erratically and spreads pheromones that excite and mass recruit more and more ants until a large raiding party of 1,000 warrior S's has formed.
Okay, so they communicate through pheromones?
Well-organized column
they don't
up to
really
10
have
meters long begins to move.
Sounds?
As the Polyergus raiding party arrives at the formica colony, the attack begins almost immediately. Dozens of attackers begin digging and clearing up debris from the nest's entrance to make it easier to store. As soon as they're done, hundreds of the attackers rush inside. The defenders vastly outnumber their attackers and are formidable warriors able to shoot at it. But instead of fighting back effectively, they seem confused and scatter rather than fighting back. Polyergus also seems to be somewhat resistant to the acid sprays of the defenders.
Oh no.
And so even if a defense is forming, the attackers use their mandibles to pierce and kill.
Oh my
There are a
goodness.
few different ideas as to why Polyergus attacks are so efficient, and one of the most fascinating ones is chemical warfare.
Oh,
Instead of relying on brute force, they release a propaganda pheromone that makes the defenders
really?
panic, unable to mount an organized defense.
So they have their own inbuilt weapon, and it's not like a physical weapon, like their, you know, mouth and bites or whatever. They literally just exude aura that confuses the enemy. That's sick. One, two. Also, I feel bad for the formica ants, because imagine your soldiers doing their best with these acid attacks, just for for the other one to be so unaffected and just instead discombobulate your whole army. Like, that's insane.
The attackers have nothing to gain from intense ant-to-ant combat other than immense casualties. What's more, they actually want their victims to survive so that they can be raided
Yeah.
again in a few weeks.
Wait,
As
so
the
they
raid
do multiple
unfolds,
raids?
the attackers breach deep into the
Oh.
colony, looking for their most valuable possession, the colonists' babies.
Yeah.
They grab the pupae and larvae that will make up the next generation of formica and carry them out of the nest. Hundreds are abducted and brought back to the Polyergus colony in this raid alone.
So do they
Well,
let these eggs
most of
grow
them.
up?
A few unlucky ones are eaten
Or
as a
just
sort
for
of
food?
snack.
Oh,
The
okay.
surviving victims will be turned into slaves. After about an hour, the raid is over and the formica can begin to recover. It seems
No way they enslaved them from youth? That's what I'm wondering. Like, is the egg just back for, like, you know, the colony to feast on, or to actually, like, you know, have them enslaved from early? Because they did say the unlucky or the unlucky ones that survived, they get feasted on or like become snacks. So
their only strategy is to make even more ants. A decent-sized colony can forfeit thousands of pupae in a single raiding season and still survive.
no, look,
Although
they
in
took
this
all
case,
the
while the raid was
babies,
going
or
on,
half of them.
something even more sinister happened.
More?
Hold that thought though, because how are Polyergus turning ants into slaves?
Right. That's
How to brainwash ant slaves. Ants conquered almost the entire planet over 100 million years ago. They owe their success to being social animals that perfected chemical communication. Chemical signals and cues let ants know what their colony needs and what each
okay.
individual
So that's
should
how
do.
they communicate. Okay.
And most importantly in this case, who is a friend or foe. Slave-making ants are much less social than other ant species. Some species miss
I'm sorry, why did you smack him like that? That was
slave-making
funny.
ants are much less social than other ant species.
Bunk.
Some species miss a lot of the genes other ants have to make communication possible. In a sense, they are bad at talking to each other. So it may be that as Polyergus ancestors started to abduct other ants, they lost the ability to collaborate and work together productively. Soon after the stolen formica offspring have been brought to the slaver colony, they are progressively covered in Polyergus pheromones. They are chemically imprinted, similar to a duckling
Not the
who imprints on its mother after
imprintment.
birth. When the new slaves hatch, they behave as though they are part of the Polyergus colony
I
and begin to work for
see.
them unconditionally, keeping the nest clean,
Okay.
caring for the next generation of slaves and masters, hunting for food, and feeding their enslavers mouth to mouth.
Mouth
This sort
to
of brainwashing
mouth.
goes so far that if they encounter free formica ants in the wild, they will treat them as
Oh my
enemies.
god! They attack their own original kind? Like, I thought it was already bad that, you know, they're out here brainwashed and just serving the other ones that literally kidnapped them. But you're telling me they're even brainwashed to attack the other ones? Like, they're that manipulated into believing that they are the Polygus one?
In a sense, they're not true slaves, as they serve willingly and show no interest in freedom.
Is it really willingly though when you've been literally groomed? Like, I don't think that's willingly. They were babies. They were in an egg. Like, it was literally they were they were just babies. Why would you do that to them? That's not willingly. They don't know any better. They think that's just how life is. It's not like like, if they knew, I don't think they would be doing this willingly. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
It's more like
Bro.
violent abduction and adoption, which doesn't make things that much better. And as the formica only live for a few months, A constant new supply of victims is
Oh
necessary.
my god.
To survive, Polyergus can never stop enslaving.
So they keep
How
doing
to
these
make
raids,
new
I
slave
see.
colonies? How
Okay.
are new Polyergus colonies created? After all, Polyergus workers are so useless that a queen can't start a new colony without slaves. But how does she make slaves without warriors? It turns out there are two main strategies. The more dangerous one might unfold during a raid like the one we witnessed before. A young Polyergus queen silently follows the raiding party.
Oh, okay.
Using the chaos of the invasion, she's able to find her way to the Formica queen and kill her, taking over the shaken colony. Although such a victory may be very...
Oh, wait, that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of sick. I don't know. I expected the queens to just be chilling in their area. I never expected them to actually follow through with a raid or like, you know, an attack. So that's a girl boss of her for sure. It sucks for the other queen, but I mean, it's queen versus queen. It's not like it was 5 other soldier ants and the queen attacking just one queen. If it was an even one-on-one fight, whoever wins wins, bro. It is what it is.
very short-lived.
Survival of the
Polyergus
fittest.
do not tolerate other slaver colonies within their hunting ground. They raid each other fiercely too, and can destroy the competing colonies nearby. So while this
Damn.
tactic sometimes works, it is pretty dangerous. Another young queen is going for a different strategy. She's looking for a Formica colony that is further from her birthplace, attacking a whole colony on her own.
On her
She
own.
bolts through an entrance, pushing
On
aside
her own?
confused ants that try to stop her, releasing a powerful appeasement pheromone that drives defenders away. She has only a short time window to find the Formica queen deep in the hostile nest. Once she finds her target, both queens engage in a fight to the death. The Polyergus queen is well equipped
Okay,
with
stop
her
with the
sharp
zoom ins,
mandibles.
please.
She bites and rips into her victim for about half an hour before
For
she
half
finally
an
calms
hour?
down. Between her bites, she licks the chemical surface of the dead Formica queen, covering herself in her pheromones. When she's done with this macabre ritual,
disguising.
Formica workers approach her. Subdued by her intense smells, they start grooming and feeding her as though pledging their allegiance to their new ruler. She still might not be done, though.
No way. She stole her whole drip. She really did. And she's like, I'm the queen now. Look at me. I'm the captain now. That's what she said. That's literally what she said.
Formica colonies often have multiple queens who all need to be defeated, which is not
It's
guaranteed.
crazy.
Often, attacking queens will be stopped by a phalanx of workers
Oh
that
my
rip her
goodness.
apart or are defeated in royal battle.
Wait, what happened? Wait. They're losing me. How did we go from pledging allegiance to the queen, to the new queen, to this?
She still might not be done, though. Formica colonies often have multiple queens
Multiple
who all
queens.
need to
Okay,
be
that's the
defeated,
part I missed.
which is not guaranteed. Often, attacking queens will be stopped by a
Damn.
phalanx of workers that rip her apart or are defeated in royal battle.
Holy
But if she
moly.
does manage to kill all the queens, the colony
All
has
the
been
queens is
taken over
crazy.
and the enslaved brood will
Solo raiding a whole colony with multiple queens and managing to get all the queens, that is a boss. Do not play with
begin
her.
to serve a new queen, the usurper. She now begins laying eggs that are cared for by her new slaves until new Polyergus ants hatch that will soon start new raids on neighboring colonies.
I
No matter
see.
what we humans do, quietly below our feet, the world war of the ants is raging, with wild and horrible strategies fought by billions of individuals every single day.
They have insane
Polyergus will
strategies.
continue to hunt for slaves, as to stop raiding would be their demise. And in the war of the ants, there is no giving up.
Alright, so that was the horror of the slaver ants. I did not know that the Polyergus ant queens were that badass. I know it's a little, you know, awful that they have to, like, you know, be raiding and enslaving. But considering they actually are willing to, like, raid on their own, like a whole other colony, just for the sake of expansion and stuff, instead of just always relying on the soldiers, I think that's super cool. But yeah, ants are very fascinating. I don't know, like I see ants and they're just so tiny. And I mean, I've seen that video, like, you know, pulling the other ant's limbs. But I just thought it was just a bad ant. That they're doing this to a bad ant. I don't know. I didn't think they had like this level of beef, like generational beef. They have literal colonies they have ranks. It's crazy. It's crazy. Very crazy world. Very fascinating. Really enjoyed learning about it. Shout out to Kurzgesagt once more. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!